The Dendera Light and the Electric Universe. Ancient technology reveals secrets of plasma cosmology and our biological universe. Hello, my name is William Armand Sosa, and I am an electronics technician, software engineer, and psychic intuitive researcher. Basically, I connect dots, solve puzzles, and find hidden patterns in data. In this presentation, we will explore my research into ancient technology and the discoveries I've made regarding the knowledge and use of electricity and magnetism in ancient times. Discoveries that have revealed the true nature of our bioelectric plasma universe. The Dendera Light. The Dendera Light is an ancient electrical device over 2,000 years old. Found among the ancient ruins along the Nile River at the temple complex in Dendera, 6 of these large plasma devices can be found in the main temple, dedicated to the goddess Hathor, and 1 can be found in the smaller temple, located behind the main temple, dedicated to the goddess Isis. All of these devices were found exclusively at Dendera and nowhere else. The Dendera lights are large plasma devices only found at Dendera. But there is another, more common plasma device that I found in Egypt, one that would help me identify the power source for the Dendera light. The solar disk headdress. These are the most common plasma devices I found in Egypt. They are composed of a plasma disk held between 2 electrically charged horns. As an electronics technician, I knew these electrical devices required some form of electric power beyond a simple battery. In 2000, I found the power source for the solar headdress in these images: the Hathor sistrum crotalum and the Waz scepter. The Hathor sistrum crotalum is a common electrical device found all over Egypt, a simple high-voltage alternating current device similar to an electric buzzer, composed of an electric battery known as a voltaic pile, located in the handle of the device, and a coiled snake in a metal box or naos, which turned out to be an induction coil with magnetic contacts located above Hathor's head. In 2000, I constructed a working model of the device, which consisted of a battery, an induction coil with spring metal contacts, and a Waz scepter. Here I have set up a demonstration of the device, with a model of the sistrum crotalum consisting of a battery, an induction coil with spring metal contacts, a Waz scepter, a small neon plasma bulb, and a voltmeter to measure the voltages across the bulb. In this short video, I demonstrate the function of the sistrum crotalum and Waz scepter. The video is about a minute long. Here I switch the voltmeter to direct current mode to confirm that the DC voltage from the battery does not light the plasma bulb directly. I then switch to alternating current mode and demonstrate the function of the device. Notice that the alternating current from the sistrum crotalum does light the plasma bulb. And that concludes the demonstration. With the power source identified in the sistrum crotalum technology, the door to the Dendera light was open. In 2012, using a mercury-filled glass bulb, I successfully reproduced the glowing plasma snake formation depicted on the temple walls, which turned out to be a plasma focus device, where the lotus flower is the plasma focus and the snake head is the plasmoid, making it a stable, low-density plasma focus device. With the connection between the plasma focus device and the Dendera light established, we could now identify the features of the mercury plasma snake in terms of plasma physics, where the snake body was now the Birkeland current, the neck region was now the Z-pinch, and the snake head was now the plasmoid. All the features found in a stellar nebula. The Dendera light is a working model of a stellar nebula. Just one more thing. There is one last question that I have not addressed yet. Why Mercury? What makes Mercury so special? It turns out the answer to that question is fundamental to the understanding of the plasma snake formation and the electric universe. And it basically comes down to two things: ambient electric charge and electrical buoyancy. The reason mercury plasma repels Earth ground is a function of the electric charge of the plasma and the ambient electric charge of the Earth, or simply the ambient charge, the Earth being a net negative ground potential. An atom is considered electrically neutral when it contains an equal number of negatively charged electrons and positively charged protons. Solids, liquids, and gases are electrically neutral states of matter. However, plasmas, by definition, are atoms in an electrically charged state, known as ions. There are two types of ions: cations, where the neutral atom loses electrons from its outer shell, thereby becoming positively charged, having more protons than electrons, and anions, where the neutral atom gains electrons to its outer shell, thereby becoming negatively charged, having more electrons than protons. Cations and anions will respond differently to the ambient charge of their environment. An electrical charge will either repel or attract other electric charges, where unlike charges attract and like charges repel. These electrically charged ions possess a kind of electrical buoyancy, similar to the weight or density of an object in water. The electrical buoyancy of an ion is relative to the ambient charge of the environment, or ground potential. If an ion is attracted to the ambient charge, it will sink, and if an ion is repelled by the ambient charge, it will float. It is the ambient charge that determines the behavior of cations and anions, whether they will sink or float. I can now answer the question of why the mercury plasma worked in the Dendera Light and the hydrogen plasma did not. I could not explain the different behavior at the time. Everyone knows the sun is mostly hydrogen, so why didn't it work? The answer was in the relative ambient charge of planets and space. Planets, like the Earth, have a negative ambient charge, which means anions, like mercury, will electrically float on planets, while space, in general, has a positive ambient charge, which means cations, like hydrogen, will electrically float in space. It all depends on the ambient charge of the environment. That is why the mercury plasma naturally forms a plasma snake in the glass bulb, while the hydrogen plasma does not. The ambient negative charge of the glass bulb, caused by the Earth ground potential, constrains and confines the mercury plasma to flow over the glass, while the same ambient negative charge draws the hydrogen plasma into the glass. It is the ionic charge of the plasma that drives this behavior, where cations, like hydrogen, are drawn into the glass, and anions, like mercury, flow over the glass. In the ambient negative charge of Earth, mercury plasma acts like water, flowing down a stream, following the banks and contours of the negative charge of the glass bulb. This process is called buoyancy flow, an electric buoyancy flow. With the connection between buoyancy flow and the plasma focus established, we can identify the features of the glowing plasma snake formation in terms of fluid dynamics and plasma physics, where the glass bulb is the dielectric containment, the stem is the ionic boiler, the flower is the plasma focus device, the snake body is the convection current, the snake region is the toroidal shear vortex, and the snake head is a terminal flow region. In this short video, we see a demonstration of the plasma snake or plasma focus device, where we see how the mercury plasma flows from the ionic boiler or the lotus flower end of the bulb and is drawn towards the knife holder end, also known as wupu or kek, where it forms into the head of the snake. This device is very sensitive to electrostatic forces, where the humidity and the temperature of the room are critical factors in the function of the device. The video is about a minute long. The electric universe and the diode sun. In this segment, I'd like to discuss the alternative model of the sun revealed to us by the ancient Egyptians, a model that does not require gravity or nuclear fusion, where solar systems are spontaneously created by electric charges, magnetic currents, and dusty plasmas. An electric model of the sun, driven by the vast electric currents powering the cosmos, where electromagnetic cavitation forms large plasma bubble suns. Bubbles that naturally rectify the alternating currents of the galaxy into the direct currents of the solar winds, like huge natural plasma arc rectifiers. What I call the diode sun model, a model known to the ancient Egyptians and revealed in the Dendera Light technology. A technology rediscovered in 2012 by two amateur researchers in Park City, Utah. A plasma technology that scales at all levels, easily reproduced in a laboratory. A working model of a stellar nebula that can be held in the palm of your hands. The diode sun. Universal energy flow. If stars and galaxies are plasma formations driven by a universal energy flow, as the ancients tell us, then where is it located? Where is the source of that energy flow? That cosmic battery that powers the universe. I believe the source will be found in the great attractor and the cosmic web. In this image, we see an animation of the CMR, or cosmic microwave radiation data, which reveals how the energy flows from the great attractor through the cosmic web to all the stars and galaxies throughout the universe. Like the electric current flow we saw between the positive and negative terminals of that battery, or the lightning bolts we see streaming from our fingers towards the center of plasma globes. An energy flow that drives the entire cosmos. Stick a pin in it. We'll come back to this later. I'll conclude here with this page from an old alchemy book. It reads, "Of our Mercury, which is the green lion devouring the sun, in me all the secrets of the philosophers are hidden. The temple walls tell us the Dendera Light draws down the energy from the sun that is the enemy of Sokar. It pushes back death. Could that energy be the blood of the sun?" The sacred pool, the fountain of youth. The walls tell us the Dendera Light draws down the energy from the sun that pushes back death. The question is, what can we do with this energy? I believe the ancients used water in their temples as a method to distribute this life force energy, this healing water to the masses, via the sacred pools found at all the temple sites. Could this be the source of the legendary fountain of youth? A method for drawing down the life-giving energy from the sun. That is what we are looking at. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to visit my GoFundMe page, and please consider donating or sharing this link. I appreciate your time and consideration. Cheers. The end. Thank you.